Good morning, Bill Handel here on a Tuesday morning, April 5th, as we finish Handel on the news on this Tuesday morning. Jennifer Jones-Lee, Wayne, and me.
Well, Kanye West, I guess we should call him Ye, is no longer going to be harder, better, faster, stronger, because he won't be on stage to say any of those words, because he's not going to headline Coachella. In February, now, you had singer Billie Eilish, who said, that, or let's say, in February, he said he wouldn't perform at Coachella if singer Billie Eilish didn't apologize to rapper Travis Scott for saying that she's waiting for people to be okay until she keeps going during a concert where she stopped the show and had her stage crew actually help a fan. And Kanye West immediately started having people, once he came out on Twitter and Instagram and started, coming out with things against Kim Kardashian and her new boyfriend, people started saying, no, we don't want Kanye to be any part of this. And so now he's been not only removed from the Grammy Awards Sunday, but he's not headlining Coachella anymore either.
Did he leave on his own accord?
Did he leave what?
Coachella.
Oh, I don't think so.
You think he was tossed?
I think so, because there was a petition that was going around almost immediately after his bad behavior started.
He decided to leave, but he won't say if it's because Billie Eilish wouldn't apologize or if it's for some other reason.
Yeah. Wondering, I'd like to see his contract, where 2 weeks before he goes, no thank you, I'm bailing out. That could be an interesting breach. Think there's going to be a lawsuit there? Do you think there's lawsuits all over the place every 2 minutes when it involves Kanye West? Excuse me, Yay. Matter of fact, that's probably how they start. Yay! We're going to get some money.
Oh, this is gruesome. A rapper died, rapper Gnu, and so for a funeral, they rented a club and they propped his body up on stage for everybody to gawk at.
That's pretty bizarre. Nick, you're a rapper Gnu, supposed to rapper Bernie?
Right. The club, this is in Washington, D.C., the Bliss nightclub, they have issued an apology.
Yeah, I'll bet. That could very well be some kind of a criminal violation. Now, exhibiting a dead body for commercial purposes, I don't know the answer to that.
It was for very commercial purposes.
Yeah.
I believe it was 40, I think it was $40 a ticket to get in there. To gawk at a dead body on stage.
A rapper, and dressed appropriately, too. The hoodie, a crown, propped up.
All right, there's a guy, his name is Jason Jesher, and apparently he wanted his dad to take him grocery shopping. And so he went to his dad's house, and the two went grocery shopping, right? But then, when it came to time to check out, investigators say that Jason Jesher, apparently got mad that his dad wouldn't, or maybe couldn't, because he didn't have the funds on his debit card, pay for the groceries. So he killed his dad.
Oh, there you go. Had some dad issues.
He couldn't pay for the groceries, so he killed him.
Yeah, don't let my daughter see this story, please.
Except would be afraid of you. If the person who can't pay for the groceries is killed, then aren't they worried about you?
Oh, good point.
Yeah, that's parsing things, don't you think? I'm
Yeah.
thinking let's go back to rapper Gnu. As in, no Gnu is good Gnu. Let's move. We're moving. Oh, we're having a technical issue, too. All right, some sports news.
Yeah. So, last night, I said I had to make an apology to the Kansas fans because last night while watching the game, my husband called me at halftime and he's like, hey, you watching the game? And I said, yeah. I said, it is crap-tastic at best. Those were my words. Because up to halftime, Kansas was behind by 15 points. I mean, North Carolina was killing it. And then, Wayne, I think you're back with this. But after I proceeded to talk about how bad Kansas was sucking, they explode in the second half.
It was your fault. But as far as North Carolina is concerned, or it was your sweet help.
Yeah, no, I was definitely going for the Jayhawks last night. So, yeah, I was pulling for them, but man, I was ready to dismiss them at the first half. They end up winning 72-69. It was just a beautiful comeback.
I can't say it's never happened before, but the last time something like this happened in an NCAA men's tournament championship was I think it was 1963. And you had Loyola Chicago playing Cincinnati, and they were down. Loyola was down 15 points and came back and won it. So it's an every like two-score event.
All
Oh
right.
no, sad news.
Yeah, Tommy Davis, who was a 3-time World Series and 2-time NL batting champ with the Dodgers, has died at the age of 83. He died Sunday night in Phoenix. And the Dodgers just said that they were informed about his death by his daughter. And he had, I love, this is kind of one of those cool stories. So he was set to sign with the Yankees in 1956 when he got a call from Jackie Robinson that changed his mind. Jackie Robinson was playing what would be his final season with the Dodgers when he called Davis's house and encouraged him to sign with the then Brooklyn organization. And the scouting director said he knew Davis's mom was a Dodger fan. And so they said, my mother wondered who was calling. This is Davis saying this. And he said, I pointed to the receiver and mouthed the words, it's Jackie Robinson. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the part of the story, Bill, that is of great interest to you. The signing bonus that he received, $4,000.
Yeah.
Woo.
Wow, but in today's money, that would be
It's still way less than players get.
$18,000?
Right.
Yeah, that's money you give the guy for a Coke at the Coke machine today. And then one quick follow-up about Jackie Robinson and number 42.
Yes, well, Jackie Robinson Day is coming up on the 15th, and on that day, all major league players and managers and umpires and coaches will wear number 42 in Dodger blue. And I don't think they've ever done that before,
No.
that comprehensively.
Everybody's
Because
gonna
it's the
look exactly the
75th
same.
anniversary of Jackie Robinson breaking
Yeah.
the code barrier, so they are going all in.
They are.
The umpires are going to have a special logo on their uniforms to give the fans something to target when they throw tomatoes at them.
Can you imagine football? Everybody wearing the same colored jersey and the same number?
I just can't wait to see the Giants in Dodger blue.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, but I think they set it all aside when it comes to Jackie Robinson.
That is true,
Yeah,
but
I
still,
think that's a different issue.
it's still going to be on the back burner. I can't wait.
Coming up, charging Putin with war crimes. It's not that easy. We're bandying words about, and words actually mean something. And I'll share that story with you. This is KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The more you know, the easier it is to avoid the idiots around you.
KFI,
KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
More bodies have been found. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Officials in Ukraine say the bodies of hundreds of civilians have been found in areas around Ukraine's capital as Russian troops move out. ABC's James Longman says he's seen some of the bodies.
Authorities have brought us to what looks like the hastily dug grave of what they say is the family of the local mayor here. They didn't agree to cooperate with the Russians, they say, so they were executed.
He says he's also seen the bodies of people in a basement with their hands tied behind their backs. President Biden has again called Russian President Putin a war criminal and has promised more sanctions against Russia. Now, we are waiting for this. It should happen at any moment, but Ukrainian President Zelensky is set to address the UN Security Council
to detail allegations of widespread killing of civilians by Russian troops.
SABC's M. Wynn says Russia's envoy to the UN is expected to be listening because Russia is a permanent member of the Security Council, and don't forget, it also has veto power. A judge has ordered LA County Sheriff Villanueva to testify under oath to the county's Office of Inspector General regarding so-called deputy gangs. The judge ordered a date to be set for Villanueva's appearance in 21 days. Villanueva's attorney argued her client has always been willing to appear before the IG, but questioned the IG's subpoena power and political motives. The Inspector General says his role is one of transparency and the fair and impartial administration of justice. LA County Sheriff Villanueva says he wants to clean up Hollywood.
He says he knows Hollywood's not in his patrol jurisdiction per se, but like Venice Beach, it is in the county, and he says it's time to clean up the top tourist attraction of Southern California. The sheriff says he's been spending a lot of time in Hollywood.
I took an elevator to get to this level, and it might as well stepped into a porta potty, except this one was a mobile porta potty. The stench of urine.
That's the sheriff on a recent live social media broadcast from Hollywood and Highland. The sheriff says it's not the LAPD's fault for not being able to enforce the laws. Villanueva says it's the politicians. Steve Gregory, KFI News.
Well, a guy who allegedly tried to crash a stolen pickup truck into an Ontario police vehicle in Harupa Valley has been killed. Police say the officer tried to stop the truck in Ontario, but the driver took off. The chase ended near Bain Street and Limonite Ave, where police say the pickup truck and the driver rammed the officer's car multiple times, and that's when the officer fired. 2 brothers have been arrested in connection with a mass shooting in Sacramento that killed 6 people. Police say they believe there were multiple shooters early Sunday. More than 100 shots were fired. 1 guy was arrested yesterday and booked for assault with a deadly weapon and being a convict carrying a loaded gun. The mayor of Riverside is one of several mayors supporting new state legislation to modernize mental health care in ways that haven't been changed in decades.
8 new state Senate bills would revamp the mental health care continuum from prevention and early intervention through improved access to outpatient care. Riverside Mayor Patricia Locke Dawson says the bills also strengthen and redefine conservatorship.
People who were in mental health crisis lack the capacity often to accept services. It's not just that they're refusing them, they don't have the ability to accept them.
The bills also outline new funding sources to entice nonprofits to get involved and improved accountability through better data tracking of patients. Corbin Carson, KFI News.
And former President Obama is going back to the White House. He is joining President Biden and members of the administration today to celebrate the 12th anniversary of the Affordable Care Act. We'll get a look at your drive on the 14, but first it's sports with Wayne.
The NCAA basketball championship came down to this attempt at tying the game by North Carolina.
It is no good! It falls just short! And the last #1 seed is the nation's #1 team, Kansas, for the 4th time in school history!
The final score, 72-69. The Jayhawks came back from a 15-point halftime deficit to win it all. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
If your business has 5 or more employees and you manage to survive COVID, you are eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of $26,000 per employee. And this is not a loan. It's a refund of your taxes. The challenge is getting your hands on this money. It's a pretty complicated federal bureaucracy. So how do you cut through that red tape? How do you get that money? Let me suggest GetRefunds.com. They are specialists in this little-known payroll tax refund program. They do all the work. And there's no charge up front. As a matter of fact, the only charge is a share of the percentage of the cash they get for you. It's a contingency arrangement. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those who took PPP money, nonprofits, even had increases in sales. They got my business a 6-figure refund on another program. On this one, the average client gets $250,000 back. Go to GetRefunds.com, click on the Qualify Me button, answer a few questions. They do the rest. GetRefunds.com.
Checking your KFI financial report, the Dow is up 166, S&P is up 8, NASDAQ is down 1, and the average price of a gallon of unleaded gas in California is $5.84. Your SoCal weather from KFI, we've got a heat advisory in effect starting at 11 tomorrow until 6 Friday night. Today will be mostly sunny. Highs will be in the upper 60s to low 70s at the beaches. Upper 70s to mid 80s for Orange County and Metro LA. Will be in the mid to upper 80s for the valleys in the IE. Then warmer with highs in the 80s, 90s, and 100s for Thursday and Friday. Then a bit cooler for the weekend. Right now it is 67 in Santa Clarita and 53 in Brea. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places. Jeff Ball, what's up on the 14?
Lots of drivers, that's for sure. Good morning to you coming down from Palmdale Act and that run to Santa Clarita. South 14, it's the morning crawl, a little bit south of Sand Canyon. So far, all lanes open. Hopefully, we keep it that way. Once you get into the San Fernando Valley, and watch it, it's kind of windy in spots too, especially West San Fernando Valley. But South 405 is really starting to jam up now a little bit south of Roscoe Boulevard at Burbank. There's reportedly a cruiser not cruising in the carpool lane, so watch for erratic driving as well until they can clear that. So a tough drive. It was already slow up to about Mulholland, so it's kind of the usual stuff there. El Monte, Jen, you might want to call Pasadena Humane here, eastbound 10 at Peck Road. A husky and a lab running around. Why dogs are attracted to run around the freeways, I'll never know, but please do be careful. Again, that's East 10 around the 605. And driving through Banning or trying to get there, boy, East 10 of Maine has been a big problem there. More on that coming up. Again, that's East 10 around Maine. I'll follow up on that for you. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Boss.
Thank you, Jeff. And we are waiting for Ukrainian President Zelensky to speak to the UN Security Council. Now, this was supposed to happen at 7 o'clock. We're about 5 minutes behind schedule right now. But as soon as he does, we're going to bring that speech to you live. Right now, though, let's get to Handel. Handel, this morning, I was just kind of thinking about what he might say, what might be different when it comes to the UN Security Council. The reason I think that this speech might be slightly different or might be maybe even more pointed is because he knows that Russian officials are watching. Not that they haven't been, but specifically, this is a council that they are part of.
Well, the big issue is the fact that the Security Council, any one of the 5 permanent members, has veto power.
Sure.
All right, then that includes Russia, which of course is going to veto anything that is brought forth. So it's a little different in terms of what Zelensky can and cannot do. Because as he has asked the entire Western world for arms, he stopped asking for troops on the ground very early on, if he ever asked for them. But as he's asking for tons of arms, material, guns, certainly body armor, which is getting a lot of it, aircraft, which he's not getting, very advanced offensive military aid, which he's not getting a lot of. He's getting all the defensive equipment that he wants. But as far as the offensive equipment, the West is still a little slow in giving him that. Those were requests that could be made and are being made. Those were requests that, hey, give them to me, and something could actually be done. Yeah. Here, there's nothing that can be done with the Security Council. This is Zelensky simply going before the world in an international forum, speaking to the world at large, because before he was speaking to specific countries. He was speaking to Congress. He was speaking to Parliament. He was speaking to the Knesset in Israel. He was speaking to the German legislatures, specific countries. Here, he's speaking to all of the world. And he is going to effectively, once again, talk about the brutality of Russia. I don't even know if Russians are going to be there on the Security Council. They may or they very well may not. I don't know. We have a picture of Security Council meeting around that horseshoe table or almost circular table. I think the Russians are there. Are they? I can't see.
I can't see if they are there, but what I do know is that ABC News is now reporting that Zelensky will speak at 7:30. And the last thing that I saw was that Russia was not going to be there, but was going to watch via video.
Well, I'm looking right now at the UN, the ambassador of the UN of the Russian Federation, who is speaking right now, and I don't know what he's saying. So he is there at this point. Whether he stays for Zelensky's speech, I don't know. We haven't gotten any information. Now, keep in mind that Russia's position here is that, number one, there's no such thing as targeting civilians in the Russian attack at all. That doesn't exist. All of the butchery that we have seen, all the video, the photos of the indiscriminate killing of civilians, as far as Russia is officially saying, and I think a lot of Russians believe that, is that this whole thing is a hoax. That these were all staged, that those bodies are really not bodies, they are actors that are in fact made up, and this whole thing just simply doesn't exist. It's Hollywood. Effectively, this is Alex Jones arguing that this whole thing was made up. So that's the official Russian position. And with that, we now have, and no one believes it. What I find so interesting about this is Russia's position is so ham-handed. It's so blatantly ridiculous. This is not Putin is usually a lot more sophisticated than this, except when it comes to this sort of thing. And going back, let me turn that around a little bit. Putin on the international stage is very slick, knows exactly how far he can go, plays the world stage brilliantly, and at the same time takes us back to the pattern of the Russian military going back to World War II, World War I, where it was massacre of civilians, where rape was used as a tool of war. where you have literally indiscriminate killings of entire populations. And we go even in modern history, Syria with chemical weapons used on behalf of Assad. Chechnya, where the killing of innocents were simply part and parcel of what they do. Hungary, Czechoslovakia, 1956 Hungary, Czechoslovakia, 1968. Crimea. I mean, it goes on and on where the Russians just indiscriminately do commit all of these atrocities. And so we're simply going to see Zelensky with, he's going to be on his bully pulpit today. And he is going to be on his bully pulpit in front of the United Nations, and the entire world is going to be watching. So while we're waiting for that, let me do my segment that I was going to do anyway, because I think it's important that we understand what's going on. You've been hearing the word war criminal now being bandied about. The president has gone so far, our president, to call Putin a war criminal. The word genocide is being bandied about, especially Zelensky and the Ukrainians arguing that what the Russians are committing is genocide, crimes against humanity, and it is important to differentiate all of this. Are crimes against humanity being committed? Yes. Are war crimes being committed? Yes. Is genocide being committed? No. And I will explain these are all legal terms accepted by the International Committee, and most countries by way of treaty have accepted those terms and have accepted various courts of jurisdiction and non-jurisdiction. And so even for the outrage that happened with the killings in Bucha, and Putin is going to be known now as the butcher of Bucha. Boy, what a legacy that is. Ukraine was already accusing Russia of committing a bunch of war crimes. And experts have said, yeah, you betcha, war crimes were committed. And the president on Monday, yesterday, called for Putin to face a war crimes trial. Is that possible? Yes, that is possible. Is it going to happen? Yeah. No, it's not. I'll explain. Biden said, you know what happened in Bucha. He is a war criminal. But we have to gather information. The video doesn't do it. It needs eyewitnesses. It takes a long time because this is a prosecution. It is like any prosecution where evidence has to be gathered. Forensic evidence, video evidence. You've got eyewitness evidence, all of which is used to determine whether a war crime has or has not been committed. And then that's brought before whatever court is in session at that point, or whatever court is chosen that has jurisdiction. And there are a bunch of different ways you can go. There's any country, any individual, any group of people can bring charges against a country, an individual, an army head, and then start asking for some kind of punishment. And it ranges all the way from organizations that have absolutely no ability to punish whatsoever. For example, the International Court of Justice at The Hague, and I'll explain that to you, the International Criminal Court at The Hague, the European Court of Human Rights, all of which have different jurisdictions, all of which have different ways of dealing with these crimes, and all of which have different ways of punishing. And some have some teeth, some don't. So I'm going to come back and get into it and explain why this is not genocide. It is not. But first, let's check in with Jennifer Jones, Lee, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
And we are waiting right now for President Zelensky of Ukraine to speak to the UN Security Council, and this should have happened at 7, but it looks like it's been bumped until 7:30, and as soon as this happens, we will bring it to you live. The Senate will move ahead with a confirmation vote on the Supreme Court nomination of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. And more severe weather is hitting the South. Thunderstorms are expected in parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi, along with the possibility of a few tornadoes. Your SoCal weather from the Driveway.com Weather Center. Mostly sunny today with highs from the mid-60s at the beaches to the upper 80s inland. This report is brought to you by Lowe's. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places. Jeff Baugh now is taking us over to the 10.
Boy, some big-time delays there. Listen up, this will make you late, no question. Today, Palm Springs are going through traffic on East San a 3 right lane for black. East on 10 stops. Absolutely kills the field road. It's about 5 or 6 miles. Not far from the 70 mark. There's so many rigs there. If you walk over the top of them, it's not a good place to be right now. Long time delays. And then going the other way. West 10 and Monte Vista, we got 2 lanes blocked there with long delays. That's backed up about 2 or 3 miles from the building. Once you get past that, they're a pretty good drive towards the Kellogg Interchange. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Ball.
Sign up for Lowe's MVP's Pros Awards and Partnership Program and get exclusive rewards to help level up your business. Program subject to terms and conditions, valid through 12/31/23. See Lowe's.com/L/Pro Loyalty Terms. Subject to change.
This report is sponsored by the maker of Frontline Shield.
Frontline Shield for dogs is on the #1 name in flea and tick protection. So no matter what type of dog you have or what adventure you go on, Frontline Shield lets you take them everywhere, no matter how you define it. Visit frontline.com to learn more.
Accidents happen. Maybe you, maybe a friend. You're involved in a car accident. Don't go it alone, and do not expect insurance companies to be fair. They're protecting their profits and their stockholders. You need a lawyer. You need a good one. You need my friend Sweet James, the Dent Spirit of Justice and his team of accident attorneys. Sweet James is a good guy and a great attorney, and he does not charge you anything unless you get paid. Car accidents, motorcycle accidents, slip and fall, any kind of accident, you need Sweet James as an attorney. If you get in an accident, don't even think about doing it on your own. That's a fool's errand. Your insurance company will not be fair with you. Call Sweet James at 800-500-5200. He will protect you. Put the number on your cell, 800-500-5200, 800-500-5200, or sweetjames.com.
What do you mean I can't write off my lunches by the pool at Morongo? It's called market research. And now,